Ah! Oh, let's try that again. Hello. Today on the RV, we are updating the drive radio. I showed this in the original walk round. This is what it would have come with in factory, which is a CD tape player. It also had a 10-disc CD changer that lived up here that was connected to it. And we're going to be updating that basically to something like this. This is an SPH-DA360 DAB. DAB. And yeah, this actually came out of my other car I've got. I've got an old MR2, Toyota MR2 Turbo, and this sort of came out of that because that's in storage at the moment. So this is going to be going in. It's quite a good unit. This has wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Obviously, because it's aftermarket as well, we do have the option to connect a rear camera. That's that yellow plug, which we will be doing, I'm hoping, because if you also remember in the walk round, this is part of this very cute little CRT is part of the reversing camera system. So at this point, I don't know with the rear camera, because I have driven the RV now, I've driven it around the farm and it's become very clear I need a reversing camera. So this picks up, this was a really cool bit of kit actually. This has a defog function. You could also move the camera up and down. It also has a microphone built in, which is still working. So I turned it on a minute ago and I could hear the chainsaw, but there's just no video signal. So I don't know. Part of me was actually almost tempted to get like an old PlayStation 2 or something and just hook it up to it and see if it's the telly that's broken or if it's the actual camera. Looking at the rear camera, I would assume the camera has failed, but I don't know. I'm praying it's this because that's a lot easier to change, because then we could just get an adapter for this plug. I think I found some online. We should be able to get an adapter for that. It's apparently quite a common plug in trucks and stuff like that. So we could then just adapt it to fit. I only need the display. I don't need a microphone on it unless you want to hear the screams of someone you've just run over when you're backing it up. Might be handy actually, but hey ho. Yeah, so going back to the radio, I've already pulled this out. Already loosened it. Oh, I'm getting flashbacks. There we go. Wow, it wasn't even plugged in. No, I'd already removed it. I'll just put it back in for dramatic effect. So what we're going to do to start with, let's just pull this out actually. Now what I was hoping to do, and it's by far and away the cleanest way to do it, is just to get an adapter for this. So this is the original plug for the original radio in it. Now in most cars, you can get them from online or Halfords, where you just have a plug on there which plugs into the original block, and then it goes to this, which is called an ISO plug, which is what most aftermarket radios use, which is basically two little blocks joined together. One of those blocks does all your power, ignition, and all that side of it, and the other side does your speakers. And they're pretty simple. Unfortunately, with a lot of older cars, and as it turns out, stuff like this kind of looks like a Land Rover plug when I sort of searched it on Google, but I couldn't find anything that matched it, unfortunately, not quite. So we're just gonna have to do custom wiring, and that's where I've bought this. Which, according to the box, is plug and play, but it's not plug and play because I've got to cut loads of cables, so it's not plug and play at all. But what I'm going to do is, again, I don't like cutting wires. I don't like sort of ruining the original loom. So what I thought we'd do, because this old radio is completely worthless now, why don't we just cut? Basically, we'll cut here, and then we can just plug this back into the original harness for the RV, and then we can just then we can attach these to our little dongles we've bought. That way then it keeps the RV's wiring nice and clean. It means that if you ever wanted to, I don't know, I'm sure you can get these online still, you could just put this back in if you wanted it original and all that sort of stuff. I just figured that would be a nicer way of doing it, to be honest. That way we're not just ruining the original RV's wiring. So we'll do that then. So let's get some scissors. It is so windy today. It's really windy. There we go. So what we're going to do now is just going to strip this, strip some cable back. Why are you not stripping? Oh, that's broken. This is going to be really boring to watch, but I just need to strip all these wires and then we'll be good to go. There we go. And with that, we've got all stripped wires. So now all we need to do is take the adapter to each of these cables we're wrapping. I'm just going to put in my, that's really thick, like too thick. and then take this little lid off, boop, and then just twist them around. Okay, I'm just twisting together my last wire. In case you didn't see it in one of the other videos, this is what we're attaching. These are basically no solder. So what we'll end up doing, as I said, I'm sleeving them in, but not actually doing anything with them today because I haven't got a heat gun. I might actually just take this loom home and do it there. May as well. But essentially what happens is this acts as a heat shrink. So this obviously shrinks as it heats up to, you know, hold the two wires together and give it a nice airtight or weather-tight seal. But also this little bit of metal in the middle is solder, and it will, as it heats up, melt and bond the two wires together. I mean, you don't need to use soldering irons. It's really, really good. Ah, oh no. Okay, it's a different day, but we now have, as you can see here, a fully sort of made up loom for the radio. Our next job is this doesn't fit. So you can see this is a double dip. Ignore that beeping noise. It's quite a way off, actually. Okay, good news. Got the tray in, nice and gentle. We're going to need to bend. You have to bend tabs in basically, so it doesn't come back out. So it's not. This is not particularly interesting, but I'll do that, and I'll cut. I'll do that's trendy, isn't it? I'll do this. And there you go. We put on a little bezel, which is what this is, to hide it, which comes with the radio. You basically put the cage in, bend some tabs back so this can't fall out, and the radio also locks into the cage. And then this little bezel will just cover that up. I think that's really good. I'm really happy with that. Our next job, you may have noticed in some of the walk rounds, that one's fell over. I've got a pair of extra speakers that I've put into the RV. I've owned these for years. These are Harman Kardon Soundstick 3s, they're called. The reason I want them is because the speakers in the RV already, the 4 in the roof, they're fine, but for when you're driving, they're a bit behind you, and also there's no bass at all. They sound good, but more as a sort of, if you just had the radio on, or if you were just listening very quietly. I like my music loud when I'm driving. I've already tested it, it all works, but we need to have because they're just home speakers like you'd have on your desk, we need something like this, which is a 12-volt inverter. So these, you get these from Halfords. This was 40 quid, I was quite happy with this. It's got a little cigarette lighter port on it. This would then give you up to 200 watts of power. Those speakers only need about 65 watts at absolute max. So it's a bit overkill, but you've also then got some USB ports. And I figure these could be quite good because I might be able to then thread some cables out of these and maybe put them at the back of this unit I'm repairing, see there? And just drill them in, so then you could just put your phone in here while you're driving along to have it charging. They're also quite high wattage. It's a 3 amp USB-C, 2.4 amp USB-A, which is really good, so we should get some fast charging out of it as well. The cigarette lighters in this thing are on constantly. However, I have got this fuse board here. You might be able to see that there, which I believe is only triggered on ignition. There's one there that's spare. I'm going to basically cut this off and wire up basically a fresh cable to this, so this is going to avoid any warranty with it, but because this is literally just 12-volt power, I believe, and ground on the side. These prongs are pretty simple. You have to do some maths with this because it can take up to 200 watts draw. You have to do, and obviously fuses use amps, you have to do amp times 12 in this case, because 12 volt, which is what our battery runs off of. So 20 amp times 12 volt, I think is, my maths let me down, 240 watts. So that should give us enough headroom. I might try a 15 amp fuse because those speakers really shouldn't pull a lot of power through, and we'll just see if it blows it. Let's get it wired in. There you go, no turning back now, I've cut it off. So like we did with the diesel heater, because this has got quite a high draw, so I've got some up to 25 amp connectors, they're quite chunky, and some 27 amp cable. So just enough that it can provide the current going down this wire. Yeah, so basically 12 volts from this inverter-y thing will go up to that spare fuse. There'll just be a ground point, hopefully somewhere under the dash we can use. If I have to extend this cable, I will, but it should be fine. Whoop. There we go. It's also hard when I'm trying to be, I don't know how people do it. You've got to try and be entertaining to camera and informative, and also figure and concentrate on what you're doing. It's not easy. I know this isn't entertaining or informative, but you get my, you know, you get my point. Was that a crimping tool? No, I can't remember what that was for. Where's my crimping tool? Ah, there's my Stanley blade. Ground. There we go. That was a clean strip. hook this up. Okay, we've got some success. So you can see there's the, where can you see it? I can ignore the jumble of wires. So there's the inverter. I've just cable tied it to a metal arm that sits up there. And I didn't need to extend the cable, so I've just wired it straight to that spare fuse. So this fuse board, I don't know what the other fuses do. There's no diagram, sadly. Same with this fuse, which is all like your drive fuses. So I think one of these does the old television that used to sit in there. I don't know what the others do, but this is all driven off of ignition, which is really good. So it means we're not just drawing tons of power all the time. So I'm going to take my keys, turn the ignition on just to show you. So you can hear that little fan, that green light. And as I said, this is brilliant because what that means is that with the ignition off, we can still have the radio on. The radio is driven off of the 12 volt, just sort of house batteries, the stuff that drives everything else in the back of the RV. So you can just have the radio on when you're just sitting around and chilling. And that's great because then we can keep using the original speakers. There's two more back there. It means that when we're actually driving along, the ignition's on, the engine's on, we get the extra oomph of those two extra nice sounding speakers and the subwoofer. There's probably no point playing it because it's just be a noise to you, but it does sound really nice. So I'm really happy with that, how it's gone. And then yeah, we've also just wired up a CB radio. It's pretty simple. 12 volt power to a new cigarette lighter, which is in here. I will tidy all this up. Then grounded all the points on a grounding point up there. So there's 3 grounds. And then, so one's for the inverter, one's for this. I haven't got an aerial yet for this, so it doesn't do anything. But this CB radio will be cool because you can also attach a PA speaker to it. So when someone on a small country lane, no doubt, just refuses to back up when I'm sort of going down, I can shout at them and say, will you move out the way? I've also wired up a ground for this. So the way these work is you're meant to wire up a cable from the back of this, which tells it if you're not moving. It's really annoying because it means that if I'm trying to skip songs, for example, it will eventually stop and just say, no, you're probably driving, it's not safe. You can just ground that cable and then it thinks you've always stopped. So that's the way to do that. There was something so liberating as well about this thing being so crudely put together because it's just so simple to add things in. So I'm thinking I'm adding the microphone basically. So that's the thing that when I'm taking voice calls will pick up my voice. And there's this blank switch. I was either going to put it like here, like that, or like that. But actually, do you know what? That could work. Unless I modify the blanking plate to accept this. And there we go. Yeah, I think that looks really nice and smart. Underneath the button, we've tested it, it works. Now, the final thing to finish our radio install is this, which is a DAB antenna. So obviously, yeah, this radio does have DAB or DAB in it, but yeah, so basically we need to install an aerial. Now normally when you get these aerials, if you're doing it on say your car, you often get these ones that, I'll put one on screen now, that stick to like your windscreen, and they have like a little strip on them and just a black bit of plastic that sits there. They're not amazing, I must say. Whenever you look at those online, the reviews are always a bit crap. I have put them in my cars as well. They are not great. The signal drops out all the time. It's just not amazing. These, though, a proper sort of stand-up aerial, apparently are really, really good. Obviously, I don't know if you'd put one of these on your car because it would probably look a bit goofy, but on this, it doesn't matter. What we're going to do is my plan, because this should kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We've got loads of wiring to gut from up here from the old satellite, and I think this wire here is the old satellite wiring, this sort of shielded cable. So what we can probably do is if we go up on the roof, we'll just cut the silicon that's probably in here out, pull the wires out. That gets rid of a huge chunk of all this just rubbish that I don't need anymore. And then we can just put the aerial on there and thread the cable through and down the A-pillar. We will need some proper sealant. It's called Sikaflex, I think is its name. It's what caravans and stuff use on the roof. It's a really hard waterproof sealant. I haven't bought any yet. It's one of those things you've got to buy online, really. Also, I might still need to, I've got to still put in a antenna for the CB radio, so it may come to the same hole, I don't know. So let's head up to the roof. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, there it is. That's the old satellite cabling. which is fine. All this needs to come out. But yeah, this is basically Sikaflex, which is a really strong putt. I think we could have problems cutting that, but let me have a go. Okay, change of plan, and I've kind of stuffed up a bit here because I started cutting this, but actually this is a sort of funnel. So I'm just gonna, there you go. Just gonna pull the wires through and then shove the new antenna, there we go. That's it. Here we go, so I'm just gonna thread the DAB antenna through this little grommet.
Blimey, grommet.
Thread that in there. So I'm just putting a seal on there. See that? It came off. Yeah, so now I've just got to thread this wire. Just got to thread this wire down here. Okay. These threads might be absolutely knackered. Okay, we're through. There you go. So there's 5 meters of cable length, so I guess just pretty basic. We'll just thread it down the driver's pillar behind here and into the radio, so it should be pretty straightforward. All deck. Cozy. Okay, no, not working. Not working, that. Oh, fucking hell. Okay.
Oh no.
Right, new idea to get the cable through. I've got this, which came off of the fridge's gas supply. A little sneak peek there, we're working on the fridge. And I'm just gonna I'll have the tape over there. I'm just gonna basically wrap it and then push it through. So what I'll do, I'm gonna put you there actually, because I might review the footage. So if that would like to go, there you go. Right, so I'm gonna get back up in my little cubby hole. Yes, there it is. Yay! Okay, good. It did come through. Oh yes. Okay, we have success. It is down the A-pillar. See that little gold thing in the corner? I can see it, I just can't get to it. If you're already looking at this thinking that's too much effort, you're right. Just listen to normal radio. Or don't listen to the radio at all, just listen to fucking Spotify or something. Ow! Fan there. My only worry with this RV, well, my only worry, one of the worries, you can see here, so look, flat, and then it starts bulging out. And again, like if I look here and tap here, so it's solid, and then it starts to get, yeah, like that, really soft. Now I can't see any damage from the outside. It's probably that it's got wet and is like bowed and cracked. So that is something that might need addressing. Ladies and gentlemen, we got them. I mean, it's not really that exciting, is it, really? Don't really know why I filmed. Well, today on the RV, I fit a DAB antenna. Ooh. So with that, we're basically done. However, one thing I'm going to finally do is give that wire a label. I bought this online, really good. It was like, I think like 10 quid. And it's a label maker, but you use an app. So if I go now, it says it's connected apparently. And yeah, you print label, and look at that. It just prints it through Bluetooth. And there we go. We'll just put that around the wire. Just keeps things nice and neat so that either when I or whoever next owns this thing, no one else can own this, let's face it. No one would dare. Once someone else looks at it, they can go, oh, okay, that's what that does. Oh. But yeah, there you go, look, DAB antenna. Sweet. There we go, and now it works. So now I can listen to James O'Brien tell me how fucked the world is and how Brexit ruined everything, and yeah, so that's really, oh, it is the news. That is the radio now completely done. I still need to try and sort the backup camera. I was hoping we could get that done in this video, but it's just really confusing. It's an old Waldex camera system. I was trying to map the pins to get the video input to that, but I just can't get it to work. So I'll keep toying with that. So there's a little taster for what's next on my project list. Is look at this, the fridge. The fridge is in. So you can see I've put down this sort of vinyl flooring here, just sort of break it up a bit. So it covers also the chipboard that was sitting on. Obviously this is nowhere near done, but we've put these joists in. You know, the fridge has been secured in at the front with these, which is, these are for that, which basically hold the drum in place when it's in shipping. But it basically it's got a rubber foot and this long piece here. We've cut them down to size, drilled 2 holes in the bottom of this floor, and then there, they sit like that. So the front is bolted in and the back is going to be held in with those joists. And even now, it's not even fully in there yet or secure, but that fridge, it's really in there. It isn't moving, been sort of wedged in by the joist. So I'm really happy with that. And I actually quite like the little bit of vinyl flooring. Again, there'll be some drawers either side and some storage up top. That's my plan. So I'm going to crack on with that next. I bought loads of that vinyl flooring. It was on a bit of a discount. And what I'm going to do is all this hideous, basically, this all needs to come off. But as with some of them, when I've taken it off, it takes some of that veneer with it. And I can't really be bothered to re-veneer it. I've got enough re-veneering to do. And I just think if we put the vinyl floor sheet across there, it'll just break up this just wood everywhere. It's messy in here. There's a lot going on. This is the thing. This is why my clothes keep changing as well. Is all this stuff is filmed over like weeks, really, because things just keep cutting in and out. We're getting there. It's actually not far off, believe it or not. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.